Ooh, hello, hello, hello. All right, let's talk about some housewives going on here on Bravo. I think I'm gonna start off with the Salt Lake City girls. This will be the season 5, episode 11, and this is called Troop Salt Lake City. So we are starting off with Heather and Whitney, and they are planning this little daytime camping event with a Girl Scout theme. So I had to throw a little side note in here because I was a Girl Scout in my younger years. Troop 1520 to be, exact. And yes, Heather, this is the sign, on my honor. I will try to serve God in my country, blah, 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 forget all the rest. But either way, yes, I was a bit excited for this just because of the Girl Scout aspect of it, but they didn't really do too much Girl Scout stuff when they got there. I guess we can talk about that when we get there. But pretty much they are just, trying to figure out who they want to invite. And of course, they decide on inviting everybody, right? Because Heather, I guess she got to figure Bronwyn out at this point. Heather is just untrustworthy of her, and just, they don't really know each other like that. So I think Heather is just afraid that if she gets close to her or something, that she's going to be stabbed in the back later in life, or, who knows? It's just, I think she's just been a bit traumatized from her past relationships with people. And plus, I think Heather might be a little bit, I want to say jealous, but, envious-ish. Because, Bronwyn is the new girl and Bronwyn is likable. So, with that being said, that's going to take a lot of spotlight away from Heather, who, was a fan favorite at first. Until she got a little creepy, weird on us. I don't know. But I don't think she wants nobody to steal her spotlight when it comes to that. So, she's going to invite her anyway, like I said, and everybody else. And Mary and Meredith. So, Mary and Meredith, well, before they actually meet up, we see Mary preparing to leave her house, right? So she's, hey, Robbie Jr., Robbie, where you at? Why you ain't answering? Why you ain't talking? Apparently they haven't spoke in, I guess, a few days or so. But she just wanted to let him know that she was going, to meet up with Meredith and things like that. And just, we'll get into that a little bit later. So this thing with Meredith about Mary kicking her out, they go to an art gallery to meet up to talk. I don't know why they would go to an art gallery, because ain't you supposed to be quiet, in that kind of setting? But I don't know. Either way, Mary, I feel, is, she's a bit stressed, right? Because some stuff is going on in her life. So Meredith doesn't know that. And she just comes in, basically like, girl, right, you kicked me out. Like, what's going on? I ain't never seen you act like this before. And Mary hits her with the, girl, well, I ain't never seen you act like this before. We've been to many places, many homes, and you ain't never been kicked out of nobody's houses and all that stuff, or never left, should I say. And I didn't kick you out. What I said was, if y'all don't be quiet, then y'all can leave. You know what I'm saying? And your butt just got up and left. So what was up with that? Like, it's my house. I invited you. So respect, right? But Meredith obviously wasn't having it. She, let me see, what did I write? Oh, Mary was 40 minutes late. I don't know what that I don't know what that was all about. And, I think Meredith on the side, the conversation really didn't go too far, right? Mary ended up leaving when she got fed up with it. But Meredith was just kind of trying to say, well, girl, are you okay? Because something just might be a little bit off. You know what I'm saying? This is just different. So what's going on? Well, she didn't really ask her. So I think that's kind of the problem that Mary had. Oh, yeah. So I'm looking at my notes here. But, felt that Mary had a little hostility going on. And when Angie had her thing about the Sean, they little beef, I think she expected Mary to step up to help her or defend her, and Mary didn't do that. So she just feel like, I guess Mary was using her maybe in that aspect. I don't know, maybe for the group, should I say, aspect, because Mary did leave the group at one point and now she's back. So is it by way of Mary? I can't remember oh yeah, because she was Mary's friend of last season. Okay, it makes sense. But either way, Mary could have came back without you. I think like she didn't need you. Like she was already whoop whoop. So the fans knew her. We just wasn't sure if she was able to come back because we wasn't sure what we was going to get. But what we're getting now, we're actually liking. So I don't know. Were you trying to go with this, Meredith? Meredith just be holding grudges for some reason. And like I said, Mary was just fed up, and she pretty much thinks that Meredith is playing the victim all the time. And, she does deflect a little bit. And Mary just walked away. Like, I got some. So, you know what I'm saying? Because she do got bigger things to worry about, right? Lisa and Angie meet up next. They go to an aquarium with the kids, and they pretty much just kind of hash out their little beef, which, it wasn't really that serious to me. I think, most of all the arguments that these ladies have are really not that serious. So let's be real about that. But with this one, Heather is kind of in the middle of everything, we'll kind of say, for this, because Lisa's been doing a lot of holding on to Heather's feelings and whatever that they got going on, yet neglecting her friends, such as Angie. And so she apologizes for, I guess, just being Lisa, you know what I'm saying? And Angie's listening to her. Okay, Lisa, I can accept what you're trying to say to me. Fine. But why don't you, I just want you to hear me, right? So with that, she's like, yeah, well, on my feelings, and you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't, I expect the same thing that you expect from me, Lisa. Like, when I need you, answer the phone. When I need you for something, I need you to come to the house. When I'm talking about the friends and things like that, I need you to have my back, and I need you to stand up, and I need you to say something, and I need you, not basically attack me and do all this other mess and bring in the daughters and the kids, because that took it too far. And somewhere along the line, Angie realizes that, maybe her relationship with her mom and how she, in her relationship with her daughter, like maybe that brokenness between her and her mom affects how her friendships are with ladies. You know what I'm saying? And I guess Lisa was actually there to listen, so Angie appreciates that maybe, oh my gosh, she finally heard me. So maybe she did, maybe she didn't, who knows? It's Lisa's world, okay? If you ain't in it, you ain't in it. And so we move over to the camp day trip, which was based off of True Beverly Hills movie. Good movie, by the way. If y'all haven't seen it, check it out. So, I thought that was a little cute. It was like potluck style, so everybody had to bring a dish. What else? It could have been more Girl Scouty. It could have been more True Beverly Hills style-y, but it really wasn't. It was just them, I guess, at some little camp spot with a bonfire and a picnic table. And, on the way there, we see Mary and Angie conversating about, like, well, dang, Meredith, basically talking about her Meredith conversation. And then you got, on the other car, you got Meredith talking to Bronwyn and Lisa about Mary. So they doing a back and forth. We get there. Looks like everybody bought a dish. Bronwyn, of course, always dresses for the occasion. Let me see. Let me look at my notes real quick. Oh, yeah, side note, because Mary, on her ride, when she was talking mess, she was talking better mess than Meredith, because she was going for her renting her house, look, outside of Salt Lake instead of in-house, you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, was going off. And they went off on Lisa with her matching outfit, talking about, girl, I had mine first, and I wore it better, so clock it. And with this car ride, Bronwyn, I guess this is maybe her epiphany or something where she realizes that maybe, her fitting in with the group isn't really working out as she thought it would be. Which is what I said, I think, in my first video when she first came, because it was like, you was playing the game when you first came, right? With the, whatever she said about Heather or whatever Heather had said to her to, I can't remember who it was, Meredith or Lisa or whoever, right? So Heather had got on her with this. So she was like, okay, so I see this is how they playing the game. So she kind of fell back a little bit. But then once her and Lisa got into their little thing, now she's kind of back in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. Like, so girl, did you watch the show before you came on? I'm sure you did. So you know how they play these games. It's a he say, she say. And it's a battle of, who said it? Look, like, who said it? Who had the truth? Who had the receipts? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it goes. And you go back and forth when we meet each other at these events and when we have dinners. And that's just how this Bravo world works. And also, she does bring up that, oh, well, how is Heather and Whitney so close and cousins, right? When Whitney was talking mess about Heather. So, I don't know why she said that, because, like I said, you don't really know Heather like that. I don't think you know Whitney like that. So why would you say something about people that you really don't know to be true or not, should we say? Because Heather and Whitney are kind of like this, honestly. Like, they might have their little beefs here and there, like they did, like 2 seasons ago or something like that. But they're not going to split between whatever they got going on. So this was a fail on Bronwyn's part, which we will get to later. I don't know how long it was between Angie and Mary showing up between the other ladies, because, of course, they tried to say that they was late. And, of course, Meredith had to throw a little shade like, oh, this must be the norm for Mary these days. Blah, blah, blah. She goes ahead and starts a fire with Heather. They was trying to do a little couple activities, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't like enough Girl Scouty campy stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I was a little disappointed in that part. But it's okay, whatever. She does pass out a few party favors. Like, okay, we got this whistle, so you blow it if you, I guess, need help. She had these crowns. I'm not sure what those are for. And, there was a little bucket somewhere where you can go take a potty. I guess, whatever. That joke, whatever, right? So, Brittany taking pictures with Donnie Osmond and Jared Osmond. Basically, the girl is back with Jared, okay? Donnie must have had some type of concert, maybe in Vegas or some shit. So, of course, Jared, being his cousin or nephew or whatever the fuck he is, he took Brittany with him. And so, she says, well, of course she loves him, blah, 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 and they're on again. So, of course, the ladies had to ask about it. And this is where this soaking comes into play. Soaking. I never heard of it. Maybe it's just some Utah thing, but basically Heather explained it. You got the hot dog bun, and then you got like a hot dog. And that's, soaking. But if the water moves, then, it's a sin. So I guess whatever kids was doing back in the back days, sure. Nah, not for me. They do some sack races. They do some, favorite campsite stories, blah, 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 or favorite memories. And, this starts into Angie versus Brittany. Obviously they were arguing over the wine again. Keep bringing up the wine situation. Like, why did you bring it? It was disrespectful type situation. But you're drinking now and this and this and that. Which I don't even know why Angie didn't catch, okay, church, wine, no. Wine, friends, yes. Cut, dry, simple. So I don't even know why they was arguing about that. Whatever. This rolls into Mary, talking about, well, Brittany, I guess she's two-faced to her, or fake, or whatever you want to say. And she needs to learn some respect or some etiquette. I don't know. Whatever. Listen, she brings up Meredith and the walking out again of her house, which brings up, well, you did take the souvenir with you, which was, I don't know, was it a plate? It was something, but she took it with her, whatever. And this is where basically a whole bunch of back and forth starts with the ladies. So this is where the fail on Bronwyn's part had came in, because Angie jumps in after Mary jumps into whatever their back and forth is going between Brittany and says, oh, well, Bronwyn, you said that Whitney was talking mess about Heather. So Heather's like, or Whitney and Heather is like, well, what do you mean? So she said, well, this is Bronwyn, you did say whatever about Heather that I can't even remember the damn words that she said. But either way, they're like, well, that is pretty much irrelevant to anything because me and Heather is cool. So whatever I said is whatever I said, maybe in the moment or whatever. But girl, what you trying to do here? I thought we was cool. I thought we was friends. But what is this? So that it didn't land to what I'm saying. What kind of game do you think you want to play with us, Bronwyn? That's all I'm saying. We like you and everything, but you're just failing a little bit on that aspect. That's all I'm saying. Just a little bit. Then, of course, that rolled into the Whitney versus Lisa, because everybody's rehashing shit at this point, right? And then that rolls into Meredith versus Whitney, and then Mary versus Lisa. So, it just steamrolled from there. But it was they're still talking about who's lying about the podcast and who's being disrespected with the husband situation, with who's lying, talk about my son. And listen, they was just going back and forth. That's why I really didn't even write down what they was actually arguing about, because there's just a bunch of rehashment, because everybody's still mad basically at this point, right? So once we get to, who is it? Mary versus Lisa. Oh yeah, Mary versus Lisa. So this is kind of where we wind down a bit when it comes to I guess the episode, should we say. She basically calls out Lisa at this point. Lisa, you fake. You stole my outfit. Remember, we went through all that. And, this and this and that. I heard this about you, whatever. So, of course, Lisa wasn't taking it. Lisa don't ever really back down. She like, Mary, be quiet. You don't even know me like that. You just rehash your stuff from old. This is old stuff. You don't even know this and this and that. Whatever. Keep talking. You ain't got nothing on me, Heather or Mary. Woo. I don't even know why you talking. So they going back and forth. Meredith versus Bronwyn about a hearing aid comment, because while everybody was going through this back and forth and you said this and you said that, Bronwyn just said out the blue, oh no, because Angie said, well, why don't you take one of Meredith's hearing aids? Yeah, I think, did Lisa say that or Angie say that? So you technically should have been mad at them for saying, why don't you take one of your hearing aids out to put it in Bronwyn's ear? And Bronwyn was like, no, I don't need her hearing aid. I got two right here, which was basically, I got two ears and I can hear you. So you mad at her for saying that she had two when it was the other people that said that she should take yours out your ear, Meredith? See, that's what I'm saying. Meredith just be having beef with people just for no reason. I don't know what be wrong with her. Girl. So with all this heated argument, because everybody's getting loud too at this point, right? Andrew just says, shut the fuck up. And Bronwyn was like, what? You don't tell me to shut the fuck up. And Meredith was like, You don't tell me to shut the fuck up. So both of them get up like, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to talk to me this way, in a white woman fashion, and got up to try to walk away. And that's pretty much, the party was pretty much over from there. And I'm like, that was, and right, Heather's just sitting there like, look, I was trying to get the girls together so that we can fix things, but just turned into a show as usual. So we roll over to, a new day or whatever, right? And we go to Meredith's house, and here is going to be her Shabbat dinner, which I think is probably what it says, Saturday night dinner or something. I'm not sure. I'm not Jewish practice in that, so sorry guys. But anyway, Shabbat dinner, Meredith's house. We got Brittany and Jared, Bronwyn and Todd. Heather was there, Lisa and John. No Mary, no Whitney, and her husband. And no Angie and Sean. So, of course, before things really get started in the conversation of John talking about he was Jewish, I guess, that, Lisa did all this finding out of who he belongs to, should we say. I guess we didn't know that about him, but we know that now. And he a little Jew. Who else is? Jared. He said he is on his, mama's, daddy's cousin side. and this is where Todd, because Todd be quiet, until he want to speak. And he says, I did a full NSA background on Bronwyn. And everybody was like, like, really? Cricket. So, of course, everybody's side-eyeing Todd. They've been side-eyeing him since they met him. But it is what it is. I guess we'll get to that a little bit later in the seasons. But, Heather, you ain't got no man. So that's why I be feeling like you shouldn't be coming at Bronwyn about her and her husband and her prenup and all that stuff. Because, girl, where's your man? Where's your husband? Where's your prenup? And they've been married for 10 plus years and all this stuff, girl. Let them be. She know who her man is. She know who she married. She know what she got to do. She know what she dealing with. And it ain't none of your business. So we kind of get a small resolve between Heather and Bronwyn in this moment. And, she just tells Heather, look, I can be a little snarky bitch if I want to, okay? But I'm not. I'm cool. We can be cool. It's up to you. And when she said that, Todd was like, don't say that. So, of course, everybody's side-eyeing him again because she's like, okay. And somewhere along in this conversation, they bring up Lisa. And, Meredith brings up Mary because, she told them about the meeting up at the museum and how it didn't really go as well as she thought it would. So she's just thinking that maybe Mary, it's just something that's just wrong or just something is up. And Lisa jumps in and was like, well, yeah, I would agree. She might not hang around Mary like that or whatever, but maybe she been around her long enough that, yeah, something is a little bit off. So maybe that her going off on Lisa and all that stuff, maybe, she has some things, maybe some built up hostility or something was going on. But on the side, maybe we should probably ask. Because I was sitting there they all talking what's wrong. And I'm sitting here thinking so nobody thought to call her or text her or email her, whatever, to say, hey, what's going on? How is your son doing? Nobody. But y'all just gonna sit and say, well, I think. Well, why don't you just go ask the girl? Because, listen, she about to tell us. Now, this part, this is the ending of the episode was a bit rough. It was a bit heavy. I know some people was probably crying and things like that. I wasn't too deep into it for me to get to the tears, but you know, I watched it and everything like you're supposed to. And you know, Mary decides to talk to Robert Jr. and she's like, you know, montage of their, you know, their whole life and relationship. That this is her only son, you know, so obviously very close and things like that. I have an only son myself, so I understand her on that aspect. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, she just straight up asked him like, "What's going on?" He proceeds to tell her, and mind you, I forgot when she was on her way to this party, she was looking for him or whatever. So she couldn't find him, I guess, at that point, or hadn't just talked to him in a while or a few days. So either way, he confesses to, look, I been doing some Xanax. That's my choice of drug at this time for him. You know, I'm talking as Robert Jr. I don't do drugs. Anywho, Xanax, Adderall, acid, Molly, cocaine. He's done it, okay? Since age 16, he says, at a party, some friends, you know, things like that. Typical, right? He liked it. Described it as, you know, life being, I guess, boring like unseasoned chicken. So this helps elevate things for him. Feeling like a stain on the world was very, very tough to hear. Him, you know, not wanting to be here was very tough to hear. You know, so Mary took it all in stride. I will give her that. She, strong lady, very strong. Did not yell at him. Did not put him down. And just told her, you know, right, I will help you. We're going to get through this. I love you. We're going to get through this. And, you know, that's what, we're going to pray for Robert Jr. We're going to pray for Mary. We know, I think, currently that he is somewhere getting his help that he needs and things like that. And, you know, I don't know. I ain't want to do, because I was sitting there, right? So, see, this is, right. Sad, cry, boo-hoo. I know. Woo! But I was doing the math. You know, I'm going to call this Mia math, right? Shout out to, if you know, you know. Shouts out. One of my favorites. So, 16 is probably about what, 6 years ago. This show started about 5-6 years ago. I don't know if he knows anything about like his family history or background or things like that. You know, like what his mother has went through for them to have the things that he has. You know, such things, or you know, possibly learning of such things through social media, through the TV, through school, because everybody watches TV. Oh my gosh, I saw your mom. Oh my gosh, this is what is that and who? And you know, I don't know. Listen, I'm not trying to say anything like that will put the boy to do something like that on him. It will have to be more than that, right? But I was just saying, that's just one of the thoughts that went through my mind as to, you know, maybe that could have been a small issue in his decisions to do what he did. But I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I shouldn't have did it, but I said it. Ooh. Don't hate me. Don't hate me, Mary. Don't hate me, Robert G. I'm gonna pray for y'all. I'm gonna pray because I need, we need all our black people and things like that. So, but this was it. I just didn't want to, I don't want to end it all sad and things like that. So I'm leaving on a little bit of a nice note, joke, whatever you know. So, like I said, Salt Lake City. Ooh, girl, this kind of went a little long, but these episodes be going like that. I don't know. They just be having a lot to talk about, and I just be talking. So anyway, I will see y'all later. Peace out.